We are made from there and start communicating. Hello, Robert, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Our dear participants, I welcome you to our engagement of CPA 8. This is financial management. You're most welcome. I can see people logging in. The number is coming up. Once again, I welcome you to this engagement. And I request you that whatever you're going to get from our presenter, take it serious. This has been a challenging paper, but we have an opportunity today from a professional to guide us on how the paper can be simplified so it can be able to pass. This afternoon, we are privileged to have a financial management consultant who has worked with UEB, Uganda Aid Distribution Company Limited, has taught at Zenith Business School, Maltech Business School, and has also worked at Uganda Human Rights Commission. He currently works as a private practitioner with Robert and Dennis Company, certified public accountants, where he's a partner. He has been lecturing financial management at different levels, university and at a professional level, as I will explain. Our dear participants, allow me to welcome CPA Robert Muhwezi to present to us all that we need to pass the examination. Robert, you're most welcome, and feel free to address the participants. Whoever will be having any question, please type your question in the Q&A. We shall be able to respond to them at the end of the presentation. Robert, you're most welcome, sir.
Thank you, Aaron. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen listening to me. I'll begin by apologizing. My voice is not that good, but I'll try as much as I can present to you what I prepared for you. Members, and I don't want to take a lot of your time, but what I want to do is just to take you through what you need to do to pass this paper, Financial Management Paper 8, which is, I'm told, is the problem. People are not passing as they are supposed to pass. And was asked to come in and help. So my presentation outline is as you see it on the screen. I'm going to take you through the general tips in preparation for exams, tips for success in examination room, the syllabus coverage, learning outcomes, approach to a case study question, pitfalls that you need to avoid, to pass, in order to pass this exam. Then I also bring in comments from the examiners in the previous things. I'll give you my recommendations and I will conclude. That's how I'll move. So let's begin with tips in an exam, for in preparation for exams. What do you need to do? Prepare for the exams, and then you are able to pass as everybody would want. One, I would begin by saying you need to set your personalized targets. What do you want to get? How are you going to get what you want? What strategies do you have? In other words, how are you going to read? So to begin with you. Do you want to pass? If I want to pass, if yes, how am I going to pass? So to begin with you. What are your targets? What are you looking at? Where are you setting your bar? Are you setting it at 80%, at 60, at 40, at 30? Where? So it begins with you. So you must prepare your mind that yes, I'm going for this exam and this is what I expect and this is what I want. Secondly, you need to give yourself enough time to study. Sometimes people, they want to read at the last moment. You need to have enough time. Because at that moment, it means you are going now to touch here, touch there, touch here, and you're not going to concentrate. So, the time to study, the timetable, all that is yours. If you take an example of this June diet, you've been having a lot of time since January. I think the exams were released in January. You have January, February, March, April, May, and then June. But you may find some people have not even started reading. We are towards the end of March. They want to start reading maybe in April. Say, it's still time. I'll start reading in April. That one will now stress you. It will create a lot of stress on you. You not have time to concentrate. You not have time to consult. You not have time to discuss. So I'm saying you need time. Give yourself enough time to read, to research, concentrate, to contact the experts. Create a study plan. How are you going to study? How many papers do you have? Some people have so many papers. You come and find somebody has registered all the papers at the city. Do you have enough time? Do you have enough resources for that kind of thing? Then consider your reading environment. If you are going to read, where do you read from? Is it a noisy environment? If it is noisy, definitely you know you are not going to concentrate. Is it very comfortable? If it is very comfortable, definitely you are not going to concentrate. If it's like, for example, a sofa set, a bed, those are not reading environment. If you are reading from home, because you are mature people, you know, you have children, you have other people around, they are not going to distract you. So you need to look at the environment. You need to go, do you have enough bedrooms where you can go and hide? If you don't have, can you go out so that you have an environment that is conducive for reading? Sometimes you don't care. You find somebody's reading, other people, the music, TVs are on. Definitely, you're not going to concentrate. The mind doesn't work like that. So you need to look at that environment and make sure that the environment is conducive. Then organize your study materials. What study materials are you reading? Are you reading all the notes, only the notes that you get from your tutors? Are you reading textbooks? What type of textbooks are you reading? We have a situation where you find somebody is reading a textbook, but is reading edition 5, when actually the writer of that book has 15 editions. So what are you reading? You find somebody is reading notes which were issued in 2003. Sorry, yeah, in 2020, 2024. So you are reading notes of 2003. Are you really reading? Are those reading materials? So you need to look at the materials that you are reading, and they must be current materials. Otherwise, you'll be reading the topic, but things have changed. Things change, and that's why the syllabuses are changing. So we must have organized the material that we are going to read and have those materials with you. You find somebody's reading, you are reading financial management, somebody doesn't have a calculator, for example. You are reading, you don't have a notebook while you are noting what you are reading. Definitely you are not revising. That means you are reading a Bible. So you need to have those reading materials with you. You need also to have a syllabus with you. What are you reading? The syllabus is also a reading material. So do you have it? So those are the things that you need to put into place. Then you need also to have an effective discussion group. You create groups. I know it may be a challenge because we are in different regions of the country, but wherever you are, you can try to create a discussion group. And I'm calling it an effective discussion group. Not any group is effective. Because you can have a discussion group and you are just there wasting time. So what do we mean by an effective discussion group? An effective discussion group is that group where you organize it in such a way that if you are going to discuss, you first meet and agree on the topic or in the area you are going to discuss next time you are going to meet. Then each and every person in that group goes and reads on that topic. So when you come, everybody has read, and then we start now. Let's discuss. You have your questions amidst you, and then you start. So and so, can you begin? Take us through this. What did you find when you are reading? Then you tell us. Then the other one tells us. The other one tells us. The other one tells us. But if you have not read and you are saying you are going to discuss, that will not be discussion. That will not be an effective discussion group. Then you must make sure that you have serious people. You don't have just create a group for the sake of creating a group. You must have serious people and people who have the same intention. And intention here, I mean intention to pass. You need also to use active learning techniques. Active learning techniques. There are those passive learning techniques and active learning techniques. So I'm just saying, for you to be able to pass, use active learning techniques. What are those active learning techniques? Excuse me, something here being worked on. Oh, okay. I'll talk about active learning techniques. Now, like in this era and age, you can have maybe videos, can go on YouTube. You can have audios. You can have notes as you're reading, you are noting down. Don't just read. Passive learning techniques, just get a book. You read maybe on the chair, and you just look at the text. You are not jotting anything down. That's passive. You are just going through the book. You are not reading. You are not revising. Then I'm saying you also do effective reading. Effective reading, you have a model there. There's a SQ3Rs model. There are so many other models I can use, but for me, I'm proposing the SQ3 model. S stands for survey or scan. You survey. If you're going to read, you pick a book and say, I'm now going to read on, I'm just giving an example. I'm going to read on cost of capital, for example. So if you're going to read on cost of capital, how do I read so that I understand? Just scan. I'm just saying scan or survey. Scan or survey means that before I don't just start reading cost of capital. No. First, look through the chapters. What is the heading? What are subheadings? Cost of capital, maybe cost of debt, maybe cost of equity, maybe what? I'm just surveying. I'm just looking. I'm just looking at what is the cost of capital. I open another subheading, could be the redeemable debt. Another subheading could be irredeemable debt. I'm just looking. I'm just scanning. Another subheading could be maybe warrants. Another subheading could be convertibles. So I'm just surveying, I'm seeing what is in this chapter I'm going to read. So begin with the scanning or surveying, look at the graphs. Are they graphs? Are they calculations? In other words, the formulas. You look at them. Now, after, then you go to Q. Q stands for the questions. After looking at those headings, what questions are likely? You ask yourself, or you jot down. What questions are likely to come from this topic here? Before you start reading, what questions? Or if you have the past papers, put the past papers and put down there, which questions have they ever asked on this topic here? Then you look at those questions, maybe on convertibles. This is the question that we've asked. Maybe on redeemables. This is redeemable debt. This question, they have asked the question like this. Cost of equity. This question, they have brought a question like this. Now, those are the questions. You put those questions there. After, then you go to the 3 R's. The first R is read. Now you start reading. Start reading those headings, subheadings. But as you are reading, remember there are questions that you have ever said or you have put aside, that you put in your mind on, if I'm reading on the cost of equity, I already know the questions that they have ever brought on the cost of equity. So now I'm reading and I'm trying to find out what the answers to these questions are as I'm reading through. Then after reading, another R is recite. You're reading, you're stopping, and asking yourself, have I understood? Am I able to answer the question set? Continue doing that. You read, you go back, you stop, you ask yourself, am I answering the question set? Am I answering the question that was said? If not, that means you need to now to continue reading, read until you feel, yes, I've understood, I can answer the question that I've been what was said. In doing so, you are just now trying to make sure that what you are reading enters into your brains. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you read through and you go after reading, I've read this chapter and I'm done with it. But if somebody asks you a question, cost of equity, how do you determine, for example, the growth rate in dividends? You no longer remember because you did not ask yourself as you are reading, you are not even jotting down. As you are reading, you are not even calculating to determine because you have the questions here. Read, calculate, see if you understand. You can now calculate the gross in dividends if you are calculating maybe the cost of equity. Now, after the last part is review. Review. Now you are now going back and looking at the chapter and looking at those questions and then now say, am I okay? Am I now, should I go to another chapter? Is it okay? Can I answer if the questions can come on this topic here? Am I able to answer it? If you are not, you are unable to answer the questions when you go through that system, then it means either you don't have the principles in that area, so meaning you need now maybe to consult an expert. You need to call, maybe you can call a fellow student and say, I've been reading this topic here. I went through it. At the end, I feel, I'm not comfortable. Can you help me? Maybe in this area, maybe in that area. What do you call a lecture? So then another tip is avoid dysfunctional, should be dysfunctional there are not a lot to get help you. And for example, the ones I was talking about, I think we still have a time. You registered in February, you are going to sit in June and say, you know what, I have time, I have enough time. I'm going to start reading in what? In April. Those are the attitudes that are not going to help you. Other attitudes are like, do you know what? I've ever done this paper here. Financial management, I did financial management I did a diploma in accounts, I did financial management. From there, I went to university, I did financial management. From there, I did a master's, I did financial management. I know financial management. You don't need to. Those are attitudes that are dysfunctional in nature that are going to happen. If you have done all those, put them aside. To read, this is a new thing. This is a new thing. Then another attitudes that people have, somebody comes doing, is going to do financial management, and this paper is hard. Yes, maybe you've been hearing it from other people, the paper is hard. So you come with that attitude of saying the paper is hard. Only when you put it in your mind, definitely it will be hard. But I want you to remove it. It is doable. If others can do it, I can also do it. If I am registered to sit this paper here, as I told you, give your time, give yourself enough time to read, start reading early. Next is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself that you can do it. I can do it. Others have done it, so I can also do it. I can also read and understand this paper here. This paper here is also applicable in real life. I've had a situation where people tell you financial management seems not to be applicable. If you have that thing in your mind, then that means you cannot understand. Any subject you are doing is applicable. And as you are reading it, you should read it in a way that you see how it is being applicable. in your life. That's when you understand a subject that you are doing. But believe in yourself that you can do it. Don't put yourself down that, you know what, I don't think I can pass this paper here, this paper is hard. No, 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 no. Just believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, everything will move smoothly. Then take responsibility for your own learning. Take responsibility. It is you who is going to pass. You are not reading for any person. Some of you are mature enough. You know why you want this paper. And you know how you have to get it. It is through reading and understanding. You are being prepared to be an advisor. You are being prepared to be a problem solver. So you know why you are doing this paper here. Then another thing is recognize that failure is an opportunity to begin afresh more intelligently. We've had situations where you attempt for the first time and you fail. So when you fail, you get discouraged and saying, no, I think I'm not the person who should have what? I think I'm in a wrong profession. No. When you fail, that's not the end. That's not the end. Just now prepare yourself for a fresh start. Find out why did I fail. Find out why did I fail. I did not read properly. I did not have enough time. What happened? I did not attend the lectures. Do I need to attend the lectures this time around? Do I need to, I did not, even if you attended, I did not understand the lecturer. What do I need to do? Do I need to change the lecturer? If I do not attend the lectures, do I need to go and attend the lectures? Maybe, what did I fail? Sometimes we need to continue blaming others, but you need now to sit down and just now check yourself. Why did I fail? And then after knowing that, you start afresh. And most of the time, if somebody does that, you'll find now you'll understand much more than if you passed the previous period. And then in the future, when you are applying such knowledge, you find you'll be having more grasp than somebody who maybe who went over it in the first sitting. So never get discouraged that you failed. No. But another thing I also want to advise you here, that when you fail, don't just register immediately before finding out why. We have situations where, for example, you sit in June, God forbid you don't make it, and immediately in August you are registering. Have you found out why, really? Why you failed? Huh? Have you reorganized yourself and this time around I'm going to make it? Because I found out I failed because of this, and now I'll put it what? I'll put it right. So please, when you fail, it's not the end, but please find out why you have failed and then start afresh. It's an opportunity for you to begin afresh intelligently. That's what I'm saying. Intelligent. This time around, you come when you are more prepared than ever before. Then you also invest in stress management. Of course, as a person doing this, you have so many things you are doing. Maybe you are employed, you have a family, you have school fees, you have to pay, you have to look after this, look after the other one, and you have to read. Of course, you'll get stressed. So don't allow stress to drain you. You need to work on stress. How do you work on stress? When you are revising, give your time to rest, give your time to rest, exercise, walk around, You can walk around as you are voicing. Like I told you these days in era of technology, you can have the information maybe on a CD, on a flash, or in your computer. I'm not sorry, in your phone, and you have the headsets. You are listening to what is cost of gas. You're on YouTube and you put there, somebody is explaining what is cost of gas. As you are walking around, you walk, somebody sees you walking around, move around, you move hills, but you are studying, but at the same time, not seated in one place. You can also use that. Then understand your learning style. Understand your learning style. That time, I don't know, for those who listened to my presentation last time, I talked about learning styles. Learning styles is that you as a person, the way you learn, and it's different from me. And I have different types of learning styles. You have what we call auditory, audit from the word audit. I mean, I don't know how to call it. Auditory is the learning style. You want to hear. So for you, when you are listening to me here, assuming I was handling a topic in financial management, for you, some people you pick it right away. But there are some people who go to class, they listen to the teacher, and at times they don't even what and pick, but they write notes. When this person reaches home, he reads the notes. That's when now he starts now remembering what the teacher was talking about. So that one is a writing. That's a writing learning style. That's a writing learning style. For you know, if you are the listening is okay with you, then when you are advising also, you can also use those techniques of listening. Like I've told you, you can get those CDs or flash, or you go to YouTube. You listen, you get information. In financial management, there are lecturers there. You get a lecturer on work, cost of capital, or working capital management. The lecturer will take you through and you listen. There are those audios which you can buy as you are driving your vehicle. You put the audio in your vehicle, you go listening to the topic. For you, that is if that is your learning style. For those who want to write, who like writing and reading notes, make sure as you are advising, that means you have to identify yourself. You have to identify yourself and know I follow here, because that one is in you. As you are reading, please not write. I think you have seen people, whenever they're advising, they are writing anywhere. Anything you write here, write there, write there. That person, that means the learning style is writing. Then there is also another style where you learn by doing. Learn by doing. You want to touch, you want to test. Okay? So you also have to identify. Then you also know there is social, or what you call solitary. Social learning style, where you feel like whenever I'm going to learn something, you must be alone. That is, you are just learning. And there's that one who wants to be with groups. So identify your learning style and then use it. Make sure you cover the syllabus. Make sure you cover the syllabus. Please have the syllabus. The syllabus was changed and issued in November 2022. There are people who have never seen that syllabus. As we are looking at comments, as I was looking at the comments from the examiners, the examiner is saying there are people who don't even know that the syllabus was changed. you are still using the old syllabus. And then you spot you don't cover it, please, I'm just advising you now that as you are reading, read and finish the syllabus. Then understand the principles of the subject. Understand the principles of the subject. I don't know whether you should have used the principles or laws or... Every subject has a principle on which it is based. So if I'm reading financial management, what are the principles, or what principle is it based? I don't know whether it's making sense. Now let's give an example. At the end, if you start from chapter 1 up to the last chapter of the syllabus, what am I trying to find out? What is it? Now, let me give you an example. I don't know if you have ever done that. In financial management, one, what is financial management? Financial management basically is planning and control of the finances of an organization. Planning and control. So that is one of the principles. Plan and control the finances. So whatever you do, whatever chapter you are going to do, must have planning and must have control in it. Then another thing that you need to understand in financial management is that it is based on the finance function. It is based on the finance function. So if you start reading financial management and you have not read is this a second chapter in our syllabus? We shall look at the syllabus as we go on, but it should be the second part of the syllabus is part B, finance function. You cannot start reading financial management from the end without reading finance function. That will be wrong. So the finance function, in the finance function, we have basically the role of the finance manager, financial controller, and basically let's generalize finance manager. The finance manager does measure the 4 decisions. That is investment decision, financing decisions, liquidity decisions, and the dividend decisions. When you look at this paper here, it's basically you are trying to answer those decisions. In the chapter, either it is on financing decision, or it is on investing decision, or it is on liquidity decision, or on dividend decisions. Those are the things we need to pick. So the laws, the principles, each subject, I'm not saying only the financial management, each subject you are going to do, it is based on the principle. I can give you an example maybe of auditing, for those who are doing auditing. What is it based on? But auditing is only based on stewardship. That's that principle of stewardship, or the agency theory and the agency problem. I don't know if you understand that. Stewardship is that a situation of somebody doing work for another, or the agent working on behalf of the principal. So because you have a principal who is the shareholder and you have an agent who is a manager or directors, they are working and they have different interests in that business. The shareholders have the interest, they want the return from the investments. The management and the director, they also have their interests. They also want benefits. So those interests are going to collide. As they collide, you need somebody, an auditor, an external person to come and say, hi, are you doing the principle, the agents, are you doing what the principal requires of you? That's where auditing is best. Already. Look at those auditing standards. You can read them, audit and assurance. All of them, you are trying to assure the shareholder that those charged with the responsibility are doing the work. So any other subject, mathematics is based on principles. Look at any other subject, name them. So you need to understand. Otherwise, when you don't understand that I'm doing this, what I'm answering, if I go investment appraisal, this is a dividend, an investment decision. If I go to our cost of capital, sources of finance, that is financing decision. If I go to ratios, that is liquidity decision. You go to Islamic financing, that is financing decision. Yeah? Name all those subjects. They are based on those decisions. And it is planning and control. Now, those were tips for preparation. Of course, there are so many. There are so many things that you need to do. I don't know if I told you about the current information. There's a situation where somebody you find is reading information that is expired. I think I talked about it. So please avoid reading expired information. You'll answer, and somebody will just look at your answer and say, this person here prepared. Was he prepared for this exam? So let's also look at tips. This tips for success in an examination room. You've already prepared yourself. You read. You got current materials. You read effectively. You have effective discussion groups. So now you are set to do an exam. Sometimes you can prepare yourself well, but you fail in an examination room. You fail when you're already there. It's like an exam is like an interview. You go for an interview, you prepare for an interview, somebody asks you a question, and then you can't even answer. When you get out, you say, I know the things here. So in an exam, you also need to know the tips. How do I behave in an exam? So that if I'm prepared for examination, when I reach there, I don't what? I don't mess up when I'm ready there. So I'm saying, when you enter the exam, one, you should enter early. That's, I didn't put it here, but enter early enough, get where to sit. When you sit, relax. Relax. Because you remember, you said you believe in yourself that you can do it. Now you've come to do it, and you're still you who has come to do it, and you prepared yourself well. So don't worry. If you start worrying, you will get worried and say, will I do it? Will I do it? By the time they bring a paper, you already what? You already tensed up. Your muscles are shaking, and then you are already finished. So when you are tensed up, some people have even failed. They failed to even pick. You look through a paper because you're already tensed up, and you don't even see a number that you can do. Because you are tense. So try not to get tensed. Avoid the being tensed up, relax. Now, once you get the paper, just pause. Don't try to rush it. At times you are told, we used to be told, do not open the paper until you are told to do so. But those are not for nothing. They made something. Don't rush. So when you are told now you can start, you open the paper. You are given time. I don't know whether it's 15. You're given 15 minutes to read through. Use those time. Use the time allocated to you. Read through. Read through. First scan through, I told you, scan through, survey and see. Read and reread. Because like I told you, at the first time, when you open the paper, you may feel, there's nothing I can do. prepare them. I was going to do a number. I thought they were going to bring a number on investment appraisal. I'm not seeing it. Yeah. Where have they brought the number? The numbers are coming from this, but settle. Read and read. When you read and read, the paper that looked as if there were no numbers that you could do, you find the numbers are there. You start now say, hey, I can do this, I can do the other, I can do the other. But if you don't settle down and rush it and start now answering, you get the paper and start now, number one, you reach somewhere there, you find you made a mistake, you cross, then you start number two, you reach somewhere. No, go slow, use the time allocated, and then look for the numbers you can do within that time that is allocated to you. Which one can you do? Use pencils. I can do 2. Of course, number 1 is compulsory. Now look at those optional. Can do 2. You take it. I can do 4. And I can do 5. Tick. Now, after you picked, now, then you are now set to go. But you have a situation where, as you are thinking, you feel the way this question was set, I should have been set like this. Some people want even to twist the questions the way you wanted it set. Now you find it is not set the way you wanted it, and you feel like should have been if it was set like this. Some people even start answering the way one wanted the question set, and definitely you get. Don't twist the question. Answer the question set. Don't say, we used to say, I wish it was what? I wish it was Ingoni. But it's not Ingoni. So answer the question set, don't twist the question. Now, when you're answering, start answering with answer the easiest question for this section. Because we want you to gain confidence. We want you to continue relaxing. So when you begin with the easiest questions, now you get that confidence, and then even you can tackle even the what? The other questions. Now, there is an issue here. If you wished you had answered another question instead of the other one, don't put a line through your work. Leave that work. What you have already written and written this and this and this and reach somewhere else and feel, I should have done number 3, but now here I'm doing number 2 and it is hard. I think 3 would have been the best. Don't cancel that work. Repeat. Go to number 3. You don't, because you are not the examiner, you don't know. You don't know what you could have done, even it could be what could be answers, real answers. But when you cross, nobody's going to read. For you, your work is just put P's and B's. Let the examiner sort out the what? Which one is P's, which one? But now when you cross, you find you cross the right answer. And here you had what? You are making a wrong answer. You can do 5 numbers. Don't fear, because they're saying it at 10. So when you do the 5 numbers, when they mark, they will go with the best. The least is the one they will drop out. So for you, when you start dropping out at that level, you may find you are dropping out the best work. So the tip I'm giving you here, when you have done something, don't cancel it. Leave it. Then leave time at the end to review your work. Sometimes people don't even want to read through. They don't even want to see what they have written. Let's take the examiner, go and sort out or whatever. But sometimes you may find you have made some slight errors which you can change. Instead of saying it should have been, you say it should have not have been. When you read it through, you say, hey, or you said it should have been, when it should not have been. You can change that. You can read it through and make some few changes. Then on the time, I don't know whether I've told you time. Time when you are beginning, you know you have you're expected to get 100% max, but you have 3 hours. 3 hours, that is 180 minutes allocated to you. So in other words, you need to calculate how many minutes do I need on a number. How many minutes do I need to spend on a number? Sometimes you find somebody, mostly when you find you can do all the numbers. Find the number one, that one I can do, number two I can do, number three I can do. Then you start on number one, 2 hours, you are still on one number. By the time you go to number two, the time is not on your side and you start now panicking. No, you need to allocate time to each number and then save some time. For example, number one, you have 100%. I think now each mark you need 1.8 minutes. So meaning a number one which has 40 marks, you need 72 what? 72 minutes. Now when you are allocating 72 minutes, at least save some minutes there. Meaning I can allocate 60 minutes, number one, I saved some 12. For a question of 20 marks, 1.8 times 20 marks, you need 36 minutes to do a question of 20 marks. So you can allocate 30 minutes to that question and save 6. So as you are, then of course, 60 minutes, 30. So you have some minutes that you have saved. And then 2, as you are working on a number and you feel the minutes are getting you and the time is not on your side, leave enough space and go to another number. Leave enough space where you can come back because you have some minutes. Or I may have allocated 30 minutes to question 2. When I start answering, in 15 minutes I'm done. But I remember I was not done with question 1. So I rushed back to question 1 and I finished. But there should be space. When you go to the down, at the end, the examiner's comments, I've seen a situation where you don't leave space, you come back, you want to continue with the question 1, you had not space, now you go to the last page, you put question, continuation of question 1. So when you get to question 1, somebody may not see it. In between, you have question 2. When question 2 is even at the end. So please make those answer sheets yours, prepared for them. Leave enough space, please, and make sure that the work, if it is possible, let the work follow each other. Question 1A, question 1B, question 1C, and D. 2A, B, C. Instead of now having A here, question 1A, B is in the middle of the answer sheet, C it at the end. It confuses. Then lastly here, you don't have multiple questions in this level here. But if you have, it can also help you. If you go for like an interview, in the interview with aptitude, you may find they have multiple questions. The tip here is that mostly in the interviews, they are testing whether you have the capacity to complete the work under tight schedules. So you find you give you A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You start answering A, B, 1, 2, 3. By the time you reach number 50, they say time up. And that will be a method. So the trick here is that when you get those multiple questions, just get a pencil, go to question 1 and say B. You have not even read through. B, tick B. Question 2, tick C. And I tick up to, I just tick C, B, up to number 50. Then thereafter I go now, come back and start reading A. what should be the answer? No, now you read through, the answer is A, but I had picked what? C. You rub C and pick A. Even if the time gets you when you have reached the at 30, you have already done the 50 numbers, you never know what you ticked. Would be right. That's a trick. And you can get this from this guy here, Okono and Okono J and Semenyo, psychological skills for understanding and influencing people. I continue to the syllabus coverage. That's the syllabus. I just got the summaries. I did not put the details, but this is the syllabus. You have the introduction, and the introduction has role for the finance, role and the function. Then you have the finance function and environment, which I told you it is a basis on which the financial management is based. Whether corporate finance management, whether public financial management, or even international financial management, is based on the finance function. You have essential concepts and tools of finance. These are tools of finance where you need to know about time value of money, how you do compounding interest, simple interest, all of them. We need to do capital investment appraisal. The capital investment appraisal, please, these topics were in the previous syllabus, but you need to note there were some changes that were made on these syllabus areas. Mostly they added. I can give an example of capital investment appraisal. The previous syllabus had evaluating a project, a simple project. But now they have, in the new syllabus, you should be able to know how to evaluate competing projects. That was not there. So as you are reading the syllabus, note those changes. There were no replacement decisions. Those ones have been now introduced. They have also introduced an equal lives, projects of an equal lives. So note those changes. Then you have financial markets. There are also changes in that financial market. The financial market, you have capital markets and the banking sector. They brought in the bank, the insurance, they were not there. Insurance products, insurance functions. They've brought in other products from the banks, like bank insurances, which were not there. They've introduced cryptocurrencies and bitcoins, which were not there. So those are things I want you to note as you are looking at the syllabus. Then also have Islamic financing, which was not in the previous syllabus. This is a new syllabus area in the new syllabus, which you also need now to know how do I handle Islamic financing. Then working capital management was in the previous syllabus. It's brought here. I think there are no major changes. Then we also have international trade and finance, which was not in all the syllabus, but now it is now in the new syllabus. You need to know international finance, and then international finance and international trade and finance. We also have international capital markets. which was not there. Then part E is financial analysis and control. Those are the ratios. There are also changes in that area. In the old syllabus, we used in order to look at trend ratios and industrial ratios. But now in the new syllabus, they brought in index analysis and common size. And then they also brought in the projected financial statements prepared through or using ratios, which are not there. So note those changes. As you are reading, please read them, not to get caught unawares. Then we have sources of long-term finances and cost of capital. This was the other syllabus. Although it was not specific like it is now here. Then I have corporate structuring, which was not in the other syllabus. This is also a new area where you need to look at financial distress, company which is distress, what causes the distress, how can you revive a company that is about to be wind up. Then you also look at that's the corporate structure. Survival. How do you how can a company survive from being wound up? Corporate structure. So responsibility and ethics. We used to have ethics in the old syllabus, but in the new syllabus they've added social responsibility. So that's the syllabus area that you need to cover for you to be able to come and sit in an examination room and you are confident and say, I'm going to make it. But if you have not done this, then definitely your choices will be limited. Another area that I was asked to look at are these learning outcomes. The syllabus has these learning outcomes, but people are not minding about these learning outcomes. This first part of my screen has learning outcomes, and the other part on my right, the right of the screen, has the assessment level. This K, C, A, N, C, and E, the assessment levels. I'm going to talk about what they are. So as you look at the syllabus, the expectations that are expected of you. And when the questions are being said, they are set based on these learning outcomes and the level of assessment. So please don't just read without a syllabus and without knowing what we are expected of you. So the learning outcomes are very important and the level of assessment. So given our syllabus, we look at the syllabus. After going through the syllabus, after covering the syllabus, this is what we expect of you. That you should be able to explain the finance function and the environment in which the company operates. And what we expect. So this K, let me first inform you of what K and this is. K stands for knowledge. So when they're examining you, they examine to find out, do you have knowledge? Did you understand? When you are reading the finance function. But at your level, we go beyond knowledge. If you look at when you go through the learning outcome, you don't have any level of assessment at knowledge level. No, that is now beyond you. That knowledge level is level 1 and ATD. C stands for comprehension. A stands for application. AN stands for analysis. S stands for synthesis. And E stands for evaluation. K, knowledge. C, comprehension. A, application. AN, analysis. S, synthesis. And E, evaluation. So I'm going to also take you through what those ones mean. And when the exam is being set and somebody wants to examine your competence on certain learning outcome, how does he set the question? So let's first go through this, and I'm going to go through the the level of assessment later. To explain the role of finance management, you are examined at comprehension level. Did you comprehend? Maybe I can go as, let me go one by one, comprehension. Okay, I'll explain what comprehension and analysis is. Apply capital investment appraisal techniques, application level. The question will be asking you whether you know how to apply the investment appraisal techniques. 5, demonstrate understanding of the operations of financial and securities market. Demonstrate understanding of the operations of financial and securities market. It is at all applications level. Want you to know how to apply those financial and securities markets in real life. In real life. 6, apply best concept of Islamic finance. It is at application level. Apply. Somebody wants you to see if somebody comes for advice. How do we use this concept of Islamic financing? So it is not at comprehension. It is not at knowledge. It is beyond knowledge. It's beyond comprehension. It's now at application level. Compute an entity's cost of capital and demonstrates its relevance for decision making. Compute the entity's cost of capital. It is now at comprehension. At your level, just want you to compute and demonstrate what's the relevance in decision making. 8. The learning outcome is explain the nature and scope of working capital management. It is examined at comprehension level. Comprehension is just understand. Do you understand this? I'm going to show you how the questions that examine the knowledge, examine the comprehension, examine application, how they should be set. Then investment returns from competing projects. I think there's something missing there. And maybe it is apply investment returns from competing projects and make recommendations at application level. Perform analysis, financial analysis. This is at an analysis level. You analyze, you compute, after computing, you analyze and even advise. Discuss the ESCO challenges facing financial managers and suggest ways of mitigating them. It is an analysis level. Explain economic and regulatory environment for business decision. It is at analysis level. So let me now take you. I don't have the explanations here in the slides, but you can now listen and jot something if What? We said knowledge level. What do we mean when we say knowledge level? Knowledge level, we mean, can you recognize what you read? Now you've come here to an exam. Do you remember what you read about cost of capital? Do you remember? You get what I'm saying? Or can you recall? Now, this is how the question is set. If somebody wants to examine something, although you don't have the knowledge, you don't have your level assessment is not knowledge level, but for knowledge purposes here, is that at knowledge level, you find a question saying define, describe, identify, or state. When you say define, it's just knowledge. You want somebody, do you understand this? Can you recall what this concept is? Can you describe it? Can you state the factors? Or can you identify? That's at the knowledge level. For you, yours is beyond knowledge level. So yours is at comprehension level. So what do we mean comprehension level? Comprehension level is still it is under understanding. You do read and internalize what you read. Did you internalize? So the question is there would be, I mean, the doing words in the question, how the question is said. Say, articulate, explain, like, explain the financial function. Then you can say, demonstrate. Comprehension, did you comprehend? Classify, contrast, interpret, paraphrase. That is at comprehension level. Did you really internalize what you read? Can I get something out of you? Then when you go to application level, what do you mean? Can you use what you read? Can you use the information? Did you pick any skill from what you read? Can you help somebody to use that information that you got from a certain topic? And the action words or the doing verb there is apply. You apply, like you say, apply capital investment appraisal techniques. Calculate, illustrate, manipulate, solve, modify, and etc. Then when you say analyze level is that can you break down the materials you read into different parts to form something that is useful to the readers or the users, the financial statements or your reports? So analyze, the doing what is defined, analyze, appraise, categorize, compare, and contrast, differentiate between this and the other one, examine, organize, and etc. So your level, at your level, you examine from comprehension up to analysis level. But as you go on, as you do advanced financial management, then you do also need to synthesize. If you broken down those elements at analysis level, at synthesis level, that put them down. That is for advice purposes, to form a coherent meaning. Or can you organize what you've read? Because you've read so much from finance function up to international finance. So at that level, can you make a report, for example, from it that can help somebody make a decision based on those planning and control decisions in financial management? And the big words here is arrange, design, devise means formulate, modify, and etc. I think the last one is what? Evaluate. Evaluate is about make a judgment based on the criteria and standards. So for you are not yet at that level. So by the time you reach there, you know, I've opened your eyes that don't read without knowing the learning outcomes. Don't read without the syllabus. Don't read without knowing the level of assessment. When you are answering, you should know that this question here is requiring me to do this is at comprehension level. This is at application level. This is at analysis level. Don't just ask. So the level of assessment for this paper here, as I told you, is it will test knowledge, comprehension, and analytical skills. Another area that I was asked to handle is approach to case study question or scenario questions. How do you answer scenario question? Now, the first thing is you need to understand the task. How do you understand the task? When you have a scenario question, a case study question, don't start reading the question. I mean the scenario. Begin with the question. That is understanding the task. Begin with the question, read the question, what is the word need to answer. So by the time you go to the scenario or the case study, you already know what they want you to do. So that when you are reading, you read trying to find out the solutions to the question. So after reading the questions, then you go to the understand the case now. Go to the case study and start now reading. Identify the facts and see how you can answer given the other questions. Read and see, are they coherent? What is it moving? What is it all about? Then most of the time, when you in a case study, there is a problem because the task there is most of the time is they want you to solve the problem or to give solutions to what? To the problem. So as you are reading, identify what is the main problem. What are the other problems? Because you find like I set a question, maybe can give an example. A company is planning to, like I told you, financial management is about planning and what? And control. If a company is planning to replace its old machinery, planning, because this current machinery is outdated, what has been overtaken by technology. But the proposal was brought by the production manager, but the finance manager is not in for it because saying there are no financials to finance this. Or for him, his proposal is that they can modify this machinery instead of purchasing another one. There was a disagreement between the two, and they've decided to forward this to the board. That's a scenario. I'm just giving you an example. So the board, when this information was presented in the board meeting, one of the board members supported the production manager, another one supported the finance manager. So what is the board chairman going to do? So I'm just giving you a scenario. So identify the problems that are in that scenario, analyze those problems, and after you analyze the problems, and then look for the solution. What do we do? So for them, you find at the end of the scenario, they are saying now, since we are not all technical people, are not finance management experts, we have a finance manager here who has just joined us. Let him help us. So you may find the problem is now sent to you, somebody who has expertise in financial management. So you need to know how to go through it, get evaluate the solutions, and make recommendations. That's how you do or handle a case study question. I was also asked to identify some pitfalls that you need to avoid for you to get good marks. So I picked some few here and there. And for me, I'm saying for you to get good marks, you need to avoid spotting. Read the syllabus. Read the topics. If you don't understand, consult. Read to understand, please. You are being prepared to be somebody, to be an advisor, to be a problem solver, to be somebody in the field. You're not just reading to pass. Avoid cramming. When you cram, you reach an exam, the question is set differently, then you cannot answer it, even if you or you reach there, what you cram now disappears and exam. So avoid cramming, try to understand. You see there are some subjects that you can cram, but there are other subjects that are taken in nature, like financial management, where you need to know how to calculate cost of capital, how to evaluate a project. You may not cram, you may have to read and understand. Then he talks about failure to cover the syllabus. You find you've done 20%, 30% with the syllabus, and question one may even cover 2, 3 syllabus areas. And for you, maybe you did one of them, and then you are able to get good marks. Then this is functional attitudes. I talked of those attitudes. I've ever done this paper here, financial management, so I don't need to concentrate so much. I know it. I've ever done it. And when you reach there, so forget about I ever done the paper, go back and read, go back and consult. This time, I will start in April and read. No, there's no time, start early. Failure to dedicate enough time for revision, we talked about that. Failure to find out why one failed and the solution is thought. Failure to find out the solution. We have always failed. There are so many things in life to fail. There are errors. An error can create a failure. But try to find out what was the error. If you don't, of course, that error will reoccur and still create a failure. I don't know if you follow these. I also, whenever I'm having time to watch TV, I watch I'm interested in this air crash. I don't know, air crash investigations. Air crash investigations. No, there are air crashes. When an airplane, when it crashes, creates serious damage. You may find it has 500 on board. When it gets an accident, you're losing all those lives. So whenever such accidents take place, they really carry out thorough investigation to find out what caused this crash. And they must find answers and make sure that it does not reoccur. Of course, sometimes such failures, sometimes they are fatal. But if you don't find out why you failed, you'll continue failing. But if you find a solution, why did I fail here? I mean, get a solution to the cause, and next time you will get flying colors, and you not even remember that you failed. I usually tell my students when I'm lecturing, you can't know when I'm lecturing or when I'm presenting to you here. You can't know I failed. I was failing some papers and repeating them. You can't. At this level, you can't. But I used to fail. And I would repeat, and finally, and when you fail, you go back, you even understand more. Hey, say, okay, oh, okay, yeah, I did not understand. Now, even the reading style, you change it. Even the group, you change even the discussion group. And you find you have understood and even understood better. But when you fail and say, I failed, you don't even find out, you rush back, you go back and you register, you fail, you register, you fail, without finding out. You can even come to the institute, and say, you know what, I've been failing this paper. I need some help. Why am I failing? Somebody will be able to take you through and say, maybe you're failing because you have not grasped what? The paper. There's some question. You attend the lectures, you go to a lecturer. This time you come, you fail. You go back, the same lecture. You attend, you fail. Not the time you go back. First time, no. I usually tell my students, don't, if you come and attend to me once, you can come second time, but not come the third time. The way I give, the method I use to give, to teach is the same. If you fail to understand me at the beginning, the first lecture, and the first time, you come back and you can't understand me, even if you come back 10 times, you'll never understand me. So please change. You can change the lecture. You can listen to your fellow students. Don't use the same solution always, and expect to get different results. Now, joining an effective discussion groups, I told you about those discussion groups which are effective. People have not read. People are just talking for the sake of talking. You need to have a discussion group where people are serious. They read first, you come to discuss. You agree on the topic, you discuss. Next time you meet, you go and read. All of you read. If I fail to get time to read, so for me, I've come now to listen. Don't try to discuss when actually you have not researched. This type of lecture, you said, if you have not researched, don't talk. Then failure to know the learning outcomes of the subject. Taking you through the learning outcomes after you've studied, after you've gone through all the topics in the syllabus, what is expected of you. And the exam is examined at what level. Failure to know the principles on which that subject is based. I talked about those laws and regulations on which the subject is based. If you are going to go for a sport, for example, like football, you must know the rules of football. You must know if you want to go to tennis, you must know the rules of tennis. Otherwise, you not what? You not play tennis if you don't know the rules. You not play football if you don't know. So even these subjects we do, they have their principles on which they are based. So please, if you fail to get the principle on which it's based, or what you need to get, or the things have changed. Things change, and then that's why the syllabus after 10 years is revised, and you have a new syllabus. So if you continue using materials of the old syllabus, that means you are outdated. Legal materials change. For example, the Companies Act has been amended. We have Income Act amended. Partnership Act amended. Now for you, you are still reading the Partnership Act of, now we have Partnership Act of 2012. For you, you have Partnership Act of 19 something, Companies Act of 1985. Okay? Then you also reading Financial Management Act of 2015, but you don't know it was amended. So then you look at like Capital Market Authority, because you need capital markets. That Capital Market Authority Act of 1996, it has also been amended. So things have changed. So for you, like if you look at Ghana Securities Exchange, things have changed. The way we used to have, if you are going to invest, you can invest on first tier, second tier. Things are no longer there. They have changed, and they have the main investment market, alternative investment market, the fixed income investment market. But you may find an exam, somebody is busy answering. Say, no, what if you want to invest in Uganda Securities Exchange, you can invest on first time. But somebody asks you what are the requirements of investing in capital markets, Uganda Securities Exchange. You say investing on the first tier, you require to have so many billions of shillings. Even the money, the amount of money required has changed. The amount of assets that you must have changed. So must be current, not outdated. Some of you have refused or have failed, I don't know the right word, to attend the lectures. You don't want to attend the lectures because maybe you feel you have ever done this paper here, you know it. But as I'm telling you, things have changed. If you did this paper, if you are in university 10 years ago, what you did are different. Things have changed. You need to hear current information. Oh, what you picked from there may not be enough. May not be enough for this professional. This is a professional course. You are doing an academic course. You also need to, I think I also have it there. You also need to know that this is a professional course. There's a difference between professional course and an academic course. Academic course, the degrees you are getting there, they were academic. And for them, academic means for them they don't prepare you for a specific task or specific industry. But a professional like a CPA prepares you for a specific industry. So what you did there and what you are doing is different. So that's what I'm saying. You need to go and what? Because what we're teaching you here, taxation, want to go to taxation area. Auditing, specific for the auditing industry. Accounting. So please, attend the lectures. If you can't attend the lectures, get somebody to what? To help you or lecture you from the comfort of your home or comfort of your office. But please try to get the principles. Now, time is not on my side, but let me move faster. On the general marks in specifics, just I need you to look at those remarks from the examiners, what they are saying. Just I picked those the general marks. Some candidates depicted lack of knowledge in the paper. Some candidates, I mean, they're not saying all. They seem not to have prepared for the new syllabus. That is June 2003. That's then some candidates did not write numbers attempted on the answer sheet, and others wrote numbers on the answer sheet but didn't attempt them, misleading the examiner. You start answering, you're answering number one, but you don't say question number one. Before you start answering, you give answers. But which question are you answering? Nobody knows. Or you say question one and start answering question two. So please, those are some candidates wrote wrong student numbers and confusing the markers, and this created a lot of errors. You have the student numbers and you don't even write them, or you write wrong numbers. That means your test stamp, by the time you write a wrong student number, when you even have it there, it means your test stamp. Please avoid being test stamp in an exam. Sit down and relax, and believe in yourself. Some candidates were not showing workings leading to loss of marks. You just highlight. Some candidates just outline without explaining. Some candidates could not write question numbers properly. We looked at that. Some candidates did only the 3 numbers, and others attempted 5 numbers. Attempting 5 numbers, I think, wouldn't be a problem, but doing 3 numbers is not right, is not good. That means you are stuck. Some candidates have enriched writing. Please, as you are writing, think of somebody who is going to read. Is somebody going to read your work? So now if somebody fails to read your work, you expect it's going to give you marks? So try to write properly, present a work that can be read. Candidates need to prepare, these are now recommendations now. Those were observations. So there are many candidates need to prepare for exams and read all topics for better performance. Candidates need to prepare for exams set as per the new syllabus. Candidates need to prepare for exams as per the new syllabus. Forget about the old syllabus. Please tune your mind to the new syllabus. Candidates should update themselves on the current affairs in finance like capital markets and financial analysis. Candidates should cover the entire syllabus and in detail, and that is be well versed with the basics of financial management. Candidates need to use current reading materials to avoid producing answers which are not current. Candidates need to be encouraged to attend tuition in order to study the new syllabus. You have not been attending tuition, the syllabus changes, you still continue teaching yourself and using even the old syllabus. What you're answering, somebody looks at what you're answering and sees that for sure you don't even know that the new syllabus is there. Then you should encourage students to attend students' engagements. I'm seeing on the chart, you're even the numbers were even 200 and something. They're even reducing. But the engagement, somebody would expect more than 600 people. But how many people are we having on the engagement? 200 and 230. So, and the institute, informed you that there will be an engagement. Then here we are having very few, and tomorrow people don't even know, because the other time we informed you about the change in the syllabus, and up to this time people have not even known that the syllabus changed, because are not attending these engagements and they're not taking them seriously. So the recommendation is that the institute should encourage students to what? To attend. August 2023, still most candidates did not they depicted lack of knowledge in the new syllabus. Candidates did not read the questions for proper understanding and interpretation, even when they are given time to do so. They are minded to use the time for reading, understanding, to avoid misfiring. Many candidates give general rather than specific answers as required by the question. Just give general. But the question wants specific answers. For example, what are the requirements for listing on a fixed income investment market segment on a gas securities exchange? The requirements to list on a fixed income segment, and somebody will give you the requirements to list on the stock market. That's just general. They are not specific. This question here is specific on fixed income. Could be specific on alternative investment. Could be specific on main investment market segment. So you need to look at the question and give specific answers. Candidates are encouraged to attend classes in order to equip themselves with knowledge and understanding of financial management concepts, meaning they are lacking in your answers. Candidates are encouraged to effectively prepare for examinations. It means you don't effectively prepare. I gave you the tips how you can effectively prepare. Some candidates are seen to have overstayed on this level, hence need for special support and the guidance from ICPU. For those who have been we are saying failure is not bad. But when failure continues and that becomes routine, then it now becomes something different. I told you of these air crash investigations. If you have an air crash, you lose 500 people. Then you don't investigate it. Next time another plane crashes, you lose another 300 people. Then it is the people no longer use the air transport. So maybe the examiners are suggesting maybe the institute needs to come in and see how do we help. Because my recommendation was, please, if you have failed once, twice, and you are failing to understand maybe on your own, come to the institute. Engage the institute. Why? There is some blame game. Sometimes people start now blaming the institute. No, the institute they don't want us to pass. No, that's not true. That's not true. The institute wants you to pass. So please come, use the institute, come to the institute and involve them. Involve the education department here. Come and involve them and say, been doing this paper here. I feel I understand, but I'm failing all the time. What is it? Somebody get you somebody to sit with you, and then you look through why, and your advice. Most candidates depict a lack of knowledge of the financial management principles, and they seem not to be attending tuition, leading to poor quality answers and loss of marks. Candidates depict a lack of preparedness and hoping for favors from examiners, as some candidates were writing in the answer sheets asking for favors and help. You hear that? I've been doing this paper here for so long, and now I'm a human being. Please help. It can't work that way. The institute should follow up with the tuition providers to find out why most candidates do not attend tuition. I don't know whether that one can work. I don't know. The institute should insist on the attendance to gain knowledge and discourage the attendance. I know it because I did similar subjects at the university, leading to poor quality answers. I've seen some universities, for them, they insist on attendance. If you have not attended 75%, you don't sit. It doesn't matter whether you know it or not, but for them, they want attendance. Maybe somebody was meant this institute, they deal with the tuition providers that they have licensed to provide tuition, and then they give reports. How many have attended? Percentage of attendance? How many have not attended? Then maybe it can work. I don't know. It's the examiner, that's what they suggest. Candidates need to be encouraged to attend students' interaction seminars in order to get the information from the institute, like change of syllabus. The candidates need to be advised to change their attention to the new syllabus. 2023 November, don't think the changes are there. They demonstrate lack of knowledge of the principles, which is bad. You need to understand the principles. You can't get the principles if you don't effectively read, as I told you. There is a need to emphasize to students always write the number of questions being attempted. Some candidates don't write the question being attempted, and this confuses the mark on which the questions were attempted. Maybe the invigilator should also remind an exam. They should also inform you that you start a new number on a new page, fresh page. You are doing question 1, you reach in the middle of the paper, then you start question 2. Use a fresh. You can even leave space. I told you leave enough spaces. You are going to do question 2, leave two pages and go to question 2. Look at the pages. You never know, you can remember something on question 1 and you have where to put it. Students need to use time designated for reading and understand the question effectively before answering and referring. Use the time, take your time, read the question, understand, and start answering. Students need to take great care in presenting answers to numerical questions. It is a good practice to show workings. Somebody's answering, he has the numbers, the figures are right, but where they came from, nobody knows. So some people just press the calculators and put whatever. No, you need to show the working, because even in real life, if somebody comes to your office, you need his advice whether to undertake this project or not. You don't just give a report and say, I think you can undertake the project. No, you need to have the appendices. And the appendices that this is the calculation. I went through this, I analyzed this, and here I'm putting this. By the time you make a report, you make your summary report and attach. Even an exam, somebody needs to see how did you come to this figure here. The figure is right, but where did it come from? Students need to ensure that the entire syllabus is covered to avoid spot reading. From the answers presented, it's clear that the number of candidates do not attend classes. There is a lot of gambling in the answers. For example, the question on common size has been examined twice. That was in November. Has been examined twice, but some candidates are still gambling when answering. A question on cost of capital is examined almost every city, but still candidates can't interpret and understand the different concepts of cost of capital. So what does that mean? The cost of capital is coming, you fail it, next time you fail it, the other time you fail it. So what does that mean? That you are not finding out why you are failing. You are not finding out why you are not understanding the concept, and therefore consult the experts too. My recommendations as I'm winding up: avoid expecting miracles. Don't just go and sit and say, maybe I'm not prepared, but let me go and see. Maybe something can happen. Avoid expecting favors from the examiners and the institute. Like you're saying, people are writing and saying Munyambe. No, it doesn't work. Help, no. Just read. You have been prepared to go and help. So the institute can't help you. The institute wants people who would have understood. So that by the time they release you to the public, they know they have released somebody who is going to do the work and is not going to shame the institute. So don't ask for papers from the institute. Stop blaming anybody when you fail. Find out why you should be find out why you failed and start afresh. We talked about failure, and there's a difference. There is a need for mindset change. The difference between academic and professional studies, they are done differently. I'm also saying attend the lectures. I'm saying do your mock exams. The institute, where you are studying from, the tuition provider may not give you the mock exams, so they may teach up the end. But for you, I'm just advising you, you need to do mock exams. Mock exams is a certain period. Like now, if you're going to sit in May, in June, or at the end of May, in between there, get first papers, answer. Because you've been reading, do a mock, just sitting here, go and look your phone numbers. You can even come to the institute, and if you want somebody to mark you, go to the education department of the institute and say, no one, I did my mock exams here, can you get me somebody to mark? So somebody, the institute will get you somebody to mark you, and thereafter you can come and see the results, and even somebody can advise you, why did I can even ask, why did I fail here? Why did I this? What do I need to do here? Just do your mock. Use up-to-date reading materials. I talked about that. Now, I'm concluding now. In my conclusion, I'm saying you need to start by believing that you can do it. Otherwise, you not commit yourself to it. Believe that you can do it and then commit yourself. You need to start reading hard enough, or you are reading materials, and towards the exams, then you do effective revision. At the beginning, you can read, but towards the end, do effective revision. We talked about effective revision. It is advisable to practice past papers questions so that you can get a feel of the style and format. The feel of the style and the format. There are people who don't even know this, how the question paper looks like, and you want to see the question, the questions, or the question paper for the first time in an exam. No, get to use these past papers and see how the questions are set. And by the time you get one, you already used. And I'm saying, remember, a cow does not give milk. You don't just say milk is given from the cow. No. A cow, you can't get milk from a cow unless you milk it. So you can't pass unless you read. So a cow does not give milk. Cow is a milk. Another one is that a hard worker can defeat even the most talented. A hard worker can defeat even the most talented. You are talented, but you are not hardworking. So you lose it out. There are people who are talented for them, but if you don't work out even your talents, you lose the talent. But there are some people who don't even have the talent, but somebody says, I'll do it. For those who follow the football matches and what, you've seen some players, some of them are talented. Very talented. But there are those who are not talented, but for them, they use the power. They are workaholic. And somebody find a coach who like this guy here because he's a workaholic. I feel poor. It's on you, he cannot let you go. If he's defending, you better get a red or yellow, a yellow card or red card, but you not go past him. He's very hardworking. So hard work can even defeat the most talented. Then another thing is that failure is glorious. Because somebody was saying, you say failure is glorious if it is not on your side. No, but I try to explain it. Sometimes it gives you a chance to go back and reflect and say, why did I fail? And in the end, you find you're very successful because it gave you time to go back and reflect and find out and even look for the solutions. Someone was saying, I think it was for those who did the CADA course during the CADA, when the CADA courses were there in Japan, say, please tell us one step backwards, 2 steps forward. You have gotten an issue, you take steps to go back. You know, if you want to jump, you try first time, the bar is put somewhere. You want to jump it, you come, you are unable to jump it. Then when you go back, next time you're given another chance, you go now very backwards and come full swing and you find you have jumped the what? You jump the bar. So don't fear that I failed. Although I told you, failure can even be disastrous, failure can be fatal. But find out why it happened. Now, another one is life begins when fear stops. You don't need to fear. When you fear, then the life is not there. Some people fear the course. There are misconception out there. I don't know if they are misconception what, that the course is hard. Or this financial management is hard. Then you come with that in your mind and say, I think I'm being told financial management is hard, it's hard. You have that fear in your mind. When you have that fear, you're finished. So don't fear, believe in yourself that they can do it. If others can do it, I can also do it. Otherwise, you fear, you're finished. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, CPA Muhwezi Robert, for that wonderful presentation. I hope our dear students, you have picked something from this presentation. It has been a lengthy one, but it has been worth it. So once again, thank you, CPA Muhwezi Robert, for guiding our students on how they should be going around this subject. I would like also to thank one tuition provider I've noticed who has been attending this presentation. That is CPA Budala Nsubuga. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your support towards the success of our students. Mr. Muhwezi, we have 4 questions to answer in the Q&A. Others have been responding to them. They have been part of the presentation. Kindly, I'm requesting you to respond to these students and we close the engagement. Thank you, sir.
Members, thank you very much for being attentive, because when I look at these questions, then I know you've been listening to me. So thank you very much for being there and being attentive. I have a question here from Emmanuel Samo Gerere about Islamic financing. In Islamic financing, are we supposed to write the principles in Islamic, or we can use English? No, our exam is in English, not in Arabic. So you use English. Sir. Have an anonymous attendee. If you get time and attempt all the numbers in question B, is it allowed? Or you cancel the excess? Now, if you have time, if you can have your time, nobody is going to penalize you for attempting all the numbers. No. Nobody. So for you, you attempt all the numbers because now you have used the time. The time that is given to you is for the 4 numbers. But for you, if you can use them to attempt the 5 numbers, fine. So what will happen is they look for the best out of the 5, and then the one that is not done well, the one that has the least marks, the one that is what? That will be dropped. So they are not, it's attempt. The question is attempt. Attempt 4. But if you can use time that is allocated for 4 and you do 5, somebody will just look for the best, and the least done is dropped. We have Winnie Kawasindi Julian. Kindly pardon me on financial analysis. The new topics that were introduced and how to handle them. Financial analysis, I told you the new topics that were introduced. You have index analysis and common size. And then I talked of pro forma invoice, pro forma financial statement, pro forma, they call it pro forma financial statements that are prepared from the analysis. Now to handle them at this time, be honest, I cannot now start taking you how to handle them here. So my work was now to show them that they are there and then engage the experts or the tutors, tell them, handle them. I cannot say I can handle them here now. I'm sorry, no, it's not possible. CPA Budara Subga, in comparison of inflation in capital budgeting season, is not indicated. Is not indicated on the running syllabus for level 2. And previously it has been examined. Should it be ignored as it covered in the level 3 paper 15? Inflation is not part of what? Of level 2. Inflation is not at level 3. I don't know now if it was examined. I don't know. I don't remember. But it should be covered in level 3. So if it was examined there, maybe it was an error and the examiner went overboard. Could you please scroll to, no? I don't know if there is another page there.
Mr. Muhwezi, thank you. Thank you for responding to our questions.
Okay.
Dear our participants, thank you for attending our engagement. You have been a fantastic audience. Before I invite CPA Sache to come and close this engagement, allow me to just point out something which has been critical in the Q&A section. I have noticed that most of us students don't know the new syllabus. People are asking about the syllabus, yet you have been reading. This shows that we are not yet even aware that we are working on a new syllabus. I implore you to look for this new syllabus on our portal, of ICPA Students Portal, or you can come at the institute, get the new syllabus so that you read something which is up to date. Thank you very much. CPH Sache, please come and close the session. Thank you, people. You have been a great audience.
CPA Alan Mesige. Thank you so much, our presenter, for our work done. And thank you, participants, for turning up in big numbers. So after lunch, 2 to 3:30, we shall be having public financial management. Kindly encourage your friends to come and attend in big numbers. Have a nice day. Thank you.